गुरवे सर्वलोकानां विषजे भवरोगिणां निधये सर्वविद्यानां श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। अपार करुणा सिन्धुं ज्ञानदं शान्तरूपिणम् श्रीचन्द्रशेखरगुरुं प्रणमामि मुदान्वहम्। परित्यज्य मौनं वठादस्थितिं च व्रजन् भारतस्य प्रदेशात् प्रदेशम् मधुस्यन्ति वाचा जनान् धर्ममार्गे नयन् श्रीजयेन्द्रो गुरुर्वादिचित्ते नमामि शङ्करान् वाक्यविजयेन्द्रसरस्वती श्रीगुरुं शिष्टमार्गानुनेतारम् सन्मतिप्रदं सत्यनारायणक्षेत्रात् सत्यव्रतम् उपागतम् आश्रये कामकोटीशं सत्यश्रीचन्द्रशेखरं सद्गुरुचरणारविन्दाभ्यां नमः। श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम्। In Dhruva stuti, Dhruva Swami is talking in these shlokas about so he first talked about the Ekarupa Ishvara, and then he talked about the Vishwarupa Ishvara, and then now he talks about the Atma Swarupam of Bhagavan, that is Nirguna Swarupam of Bhagavan. Tvam Nitya Mukta Parishuddha Vishuddha Atma Kutastha Adi Purusho Bhagavan Stradishaha Yadbudhyavasthitam akanditaya swadrishtya drashta sthitavadhimakho vyatirikta aste Bhagavani tvam nityamukta tvam nityamukta parishuddha vishuddha atma. இதுவரைக்கும் நேத்தி பார்த்தோம் போன கிளாஸ்ல. பகவான் எப்போதும் நித்தியமாக இருக்காராம், எப்போதும் இருக்காராம். அதனால்தான் பகவானுக்கு சத்தியம்னு பேர். வாட் இஸ் சத்தியம்? ட்ரூத். That thing that holds true on all the time. That thing that can never be negated is called as satyam. Sun rises in the east. We call that as an universal truth. No matter where you go, sun will rise in the east. Right? Nobody can negate that statement. In the same way, Bhagavan is called as Nitya because in no time Bhagavan is not present. Natvevaham jatunasam natvam neme janadhipaha, says Bhagavan in Bhagavad Gita. So Bhagavan is Nitya. Mukta, we might perceive we are in shackles, but there is no shackles for Bhagavan. Bhagavan is ever free. In fact, all these things, it talks about the Nirguna Swarupam of Atma. நமக்கு என்ன ஒரு பிரம வந்துரும்னா, பகவானுக்கு ரூபம் இல்லையே அப்படிங்கறத ஒரு குறையா சொல்லுவோம். அத்வைதிகள் பகவானுக்கு நிர்குண ஸ்வரூபம் அப்படின்னா மற்றவாளுக்கு ஒரு பயம் வந்துடும், ஐயோ ரூபம் இல்லாதது என்னமோ ஒரு குறை போலவும், பகவானுக்கு போய் ரூபம் இல்லைன்ட்டாரே அப்படின்னு. But when we think about it, form is nothing but a limitation that is placed on an entity. When I say I have a blue ball, I have a blue ball. What do we infer? The color of that entity is blue. The shape of that entity is sphere. So these are the two things that we can infer. And we say that these two are the gunams. These two are the properties or the attributes of that entity. We think that positively. Why? Because only if a person says blue ball, we can imagine that in our mind. I have not seen a blue ball. He is describing a blue ball. All I have to do is just close my eyes, and in my mind, I can make an image of a ball that is blue colored. But the problem there is the moment you say the ball is blue in color, the ball can have an infinite color. It can have any color. What you are telling, no, 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 the ball is not red. The ball is not green. The ball is not magenta. The ball is not black. Ball is not white. The ball is blue in color. So when you give an attribute to a particular object, that is one is, the ball is blue in color, but there are infinites of is not. The ball is not red in color. The ball is not gray in color. The ball is not white in color. Ball is not green in color. So tell me, where is the limitation here? But when we say there is no color, when we don't specify a color for the ball, then the ball can take infinite colors. This is like the famous physics experiment, Schrodinger's cat experiment. The cat can have multiple forms of life simultaneously. In the same way, the ball can have many colors simultaneously unless we specify one color to the ball. So we think that having a form is an attribute, is a positive thing for Bhagavan. But in fact, having a form is a limitation. Why? Because you are negating all the other forms that Bhagavan can take. भगवान् क्षीरोदन्वर्प्रदेशे शुचिमनिविलसत्सैकते मौक्तिकानां मालाक्लुप्तासनस्तस्फटिकमणिनिभैर्मौक्तिकैर्मण्डिताङ्गः शुभ्रैरम्प्रैरदभ्रैरुपरिविरचितैर्मुक्तपीयूषवर्षैः आनन्दीनः पुनीयादरिनलिनगता शङ्खपाणिर्मुकुन्दः. Very nice. The form is very nice. I can close my eyes. கண்ணுக்கு முன்னாடி I can bring that form. These days there are lots of AI tools which when you give the dhyana slokam, it even gives the figure. So it is very good for meditation. But the moment you commit Bhagavan to be present only in Vaikuntha, where is Bhagavan? Bhagavan is Vaikuntha. Bhagavan is in Vaikuntha. What about here? When we say Bhagavan is in Vaikuntha, you are automatically negating the Bhagavan's presence here. When you say Bhagavan is blue in color, you are automatically negating Bhagavan to have many color. When you say Bhagavan has four hands, you are automatically negating Bhagavan does not have one hand, he does not have two hands, he does not have three hands, he does not have five hands, he does not have infinite number of hands. When you say Bhagavan has got one form, Bhagavan can have many forms as he wants. Who are we to confine Bhagavan to one form? That is a limitation that is placed on Bhagavan. So having a name and a form, it is not a positive attribute for Atma. Having a name and a form is a huge limitation that is present on Atma, that is placed on Atma. That is why the real truth will not have one name, it will not have one form. In fact, all the names and the forms, they are present in that real truth. All the names and forms can be there in the real truth. Right? A very normal day-to-day life example, you do not have a car for your own. I want to take Ola, Uber, or anything. You can have any car that is present in the list. Today I can go in Maruti, Toyota. Next day I can go in some other car. The day after that I can go in any other car that I want. In fact, if I don't want to go by car, I can go by auto or bus. If I have one car, then I will automatically take only that. I am negating all the other cars. If I don't know a person's name, I can call him by any name. But if I know that person's name, I will only call him by that name. A small kid. A small kid who has not been named yet, potentially he can have an infinite number of names. Ajjukutti, Bullukutti, Jitsukutti. We can do any name as long as the child does not have its name ingrained on its mind. But the moment child starts to identify with one name, you cannot call him that. If a child name is Ram, when the child does not have that ownership of the name, you can call him Ram, you can call him Krishna, you can call him Shyam, you can call him a dog, a cat, any name the child will turn. But the moment the child starts to identify with one name, the child will not be able to respond to any other name by its nature. So having a name, having a form, everything is a limitation that is placed on Bhagavan. And Bhagavan is Mukta Atma. He does not have all those limitations of names and forms so that he can take any name. He can take any form. That is why we have got Sahasranama for Bhagavan. If Bhagavan has got only one name, why should we have Sahasranamas for Bhagavan? The two, there are four versions of Vishnu Sahasranama, there are five versions of Shiva Sahasranama. There are many versions of Lalita Sahasranama. In one Purana, there will be one version. In another Purana, there will be another version. Bhagavan will respond to all the names. Bhagavan will not only respond to one name. Bhagavan will respond to all the names because he does not have a particular name. The moment he has a particular name, then the concept of Sahasranama, Ashtottara Shatanama, everything will go moot. Right? So Bhagavan is Nitya, Mukta, Parishuddha, Vishuddha, Bhagavan is Kutastha. I think the first line we have already seen last week. Kutastha. Kutastha is a technical term. I don't know how many of you guys of us have seen a lathe, lathe where they make, goldsmith's lathe and a carpenter's lathe or a metal worker's lathe. In a goldsmith, if you go, there will be like one stone will be there. And whatever the shape that the goldsmith wants that gold to take, he will place the gold and then he will start striking the gold. The gold will take its shape. The gold will take its shape, but that anvil, the stone, will not move. Stone is that very strong entity which will support the gold to shape the gold, but the stone itself will not move in the process. It is called as an anvil. Kutastaha. Bhagavan is like sthanu, achalaha. He will not move. He will not undergo any change. Because of Bhagavan, things will undergo change. Because of that anvil, other things will undergo change. But anvil will not undergo any change. That is called as Kutastaha. The கூட்டஸ்தங்கிற நாம நிறைய இடத்துல பகவத்கீதையில வரும், விஷ்ணுதாச நாமத்துல உபனிஷத்துல எல்லாம் வரும். ஸோ அன்சேஞ்சிங் பர்சன், ஆதி புருஷா, புரீஷேதே iti புருஷா, the one who is dwelling in our body. Remember, if Bhagavan is only present in Vaikuntha, he cannot be present in our body. Bhagavan has to be present everywhere for him to present in all of our bodies. Purishete iti Purushaha. Bhagavan is Adi Purushaha. Bhagavan is Triadhishaha, Triadhishaha. Bhagavan is the Adhisha for the Trigunas, Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. Trigunatmika Maya. Bhagavan is having Maya under his Adhinam. Bhagavan is having Maya under his Adhinam. All these are very, 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 very loaded Vedantic shlokas. For each and every word, There are shlokas and shlokas of, there are shlokas and shlokas from Upanishads. Acharya has written pages and pages of bhashyams for those shlokas, but we cannot see all these things. I'm just giving you the glimpse. कूटस्थ आदिपुरुषो भगवान् स्थिरदीशः यद्बुद्ध्यवस्थितमखण्डितया स्वदृष्ट्या द्रष्टा स्थितावधिमतो व्यतिरिक्त आसे. Bhagavan, who is present in everybody, yet buddhyavasthitam akhanditaya swadrishtya drashta. Bhagavan, who is present in everybody's body and who is the witness for all the things that happens even in people's mind. No, we think that only when we uh, express things, other people can know what we have in our mind. மனசுல இருக்கிறது யாருக்கு தெரிய போச்சு? யாருக்கும் தெரியாதுன்னு நம்ம நினைச்சுட்டு இருக்கோம். But here Dhruva says, yet buddhyavasthitam akhanditaya swadrishtya drashta. Bhagavan is sarva drashtaraha. Bhagavan, he is present in everybody's mind. Sarva bhutastham atmanam. Sarva bhutani chatmani. All these shlokas are there from Upanishads, etc. Bhagavan is present in everybody's mind. தேடி தேடி உன்னை கண்டு கொள்ளலாம். இங்க தேடி தேடி எங்கோ ஓடுகின்றார். உன்னை தேடி கண்டு கொள்ளலாமே, எங்க உள்ளில் தேடி கண்டு கொள்ளலாமே. பத்மகோஷ பிரதீகாச்சகும் ஹிருதயஞ்சாப்யதோமுகம் अधो निष्ट्यावितस्यान्ते नाभ्यामुपरितिष्ठति ज्वालमालाकुलं भाति विश्वस्यायतनं महत्. Veda says अनोरणीयान् महतो महीयान् ஆத்மா குஹாயான் நிஹிதோஸ்ய ஜந்துஹு. ஆத்மா எங்க இருக்கார்? பகவான் எங்க இருக்காருன்னா குஹாயாம் ஜந்துஹு நிஹிதா. Bhagavan is present in everybody's mind and he is the witness for everything, even the thoughts that goes on in people's mind. Drashta sthita vadimako vyatirikta ase. Even though Bhagavan is present in everybody's mind, he does not participate in the things that goes on in people's mind. He is a vyatirikta. He stands only as witness. He does not participate in the vyavahara. Going on to the next shloka. Yasmin viruddhagatayo hyanisham patanti vidyadayo vividashaktaya anupurvyat tad brahma vishwabhavamekamanantamadyam आनंदमात्रम अविकारमहं प्रपद्ये. अहम प्रपद्ये, I worship that Bhagavan. Who is that Bhagavan? Anandamatram avikaram aham prapadye. Bhagavan is avikaraha. Atma Tattvam is avikaraha. Vikara. Vikara means change. There are shad vikaras. Upanishads, the Shastra says, Asti jayate, vartate, viparinamate, apakshiyate, vinashyati. Person will exist. Asti in subtle form. Jayate, he will be born. Let's take a human for an example. Asti, the person will be present in, the baby will be present in mother's and father's body. Asti. And then Jayate, the baby will be born to the world. Asti Jayate, Vartate, the baby grows. Viparinamate, the baby will change. The person who's born will not be the same person when they are at 50 years of age. Even according to science, each and every cell in your body will change, they say. Asti jayate vartate, viparinamate, apakshiyate. Once you reach a certain age, your system will start to fail. பல்லு கொட்டிதான் போகும். கண்ணுன்னு இருந்தா தெரியாம போகும். காதுன்னு இருந்தால் கேட்காம போகும். You will never be the same person when you used to be 20. Viparinamate, apakshiyate, and then at one point of time the body will fail. Vinashyati, the body will be destroyed. All these are called as vikaraha. But Bhagavan is avikaraha. Bhagavan, Atma, does not have all these things. Because only in Atma all these things will happen. An ornament will have all these changes. Asti, jayate, vartate, viparinamate, apakshiyate, vinashyati. If a person wants to make a bangle, the bangle is potentially present in gold. Asti. And then jayate, the goldsmith will do lots of things. Finally, they make that bangle. Asti, jayate, vartate, viparinamate. And then what will happen? I wear that bangle nilinji, kilinji, ellam aidum, viparinamate, apakshiyate, and then at one point of time the bangle will give up and it will be broken, vinashyati. But what about gold? Gold does not have all these avasthas. Gold always exists. Gold does not undergo any change. The gold atoms, they will never change. They will always exist at AU. It is going to have a particular atomic number. It is going to have a particular mass number. All the process that happens here, the properties of gold will not change. The gold atom will remain as gold atom. But bangle will undergo change. One day the same gold will be a bangle, another day the same gold will be a chain. That is different. But gold, as such, the Vastu gold will not undergo any change. Bhagavan as Vastu, Bhagavan as the material cause for the universe is Avikaraha. And then Anandam. What is the Swarupam of Bhagavan? Satyam Jnanamanantam Brahma. Anando Brahme Divyajanat. Anandadev Vimani Bhutani Jayante. Anande Najata Nijivanti. Anandam Prayantyabhisamvishanti. Saija Bhargavi Varuni Vidya. Bhargavi Varuni Vidya from Taittiriya Upanishad says Bhagavan is in the form of Ananda. Bhagavan is Ananda Swarupam. When you remove all the shackles that is imposed on us, whatever that remains is Ananda. We all have a wrong understanding of Ananda. In fact, Anandam is our own self. Anandam is our own nature, but we don't have proper understanding of Ananda. We think that Anandam is something that we have to get from outside. No, Anandam is our nature. Anandam, happiness is our own nature. Atma Swarupam, Satchidanandam, Sat, Chit, Anandam. All these things are different epithets for Atma. That is the Anandam that we enjoy when we go to deep sleep. If a person goes to deep sleep, he is not experiencing anything. I'm not talking about dreams. I'm talking about the REM sleep அதெல்லாம் சொல்லுவா science ல. I'm talking about that sleep, that state of sleep where we don't even experience any dream. நாள் ஃபுல்லா if you have lots of work, if you are busy, you go to bed, you sleep like a baby without having any dream. Next day, somebody will wake you up and then they ask you, how did you sleep now? I slept blissfully. ஆனா ஆனந்தமா தூங்கினேன் அப்படிங்கிறான். What is the ஆனந்தம் that you experience? When you are woke up, your definition of ஆனந்தம் will be probably to eat a gulab jamun. Eating gulab jamun is ananda. Having an iPhone is ananda. Playing with my baby is ananda. Playing with my dog is ananda. We have all these definitions for Ananda, but what did you do when you are having deep sleep? In fact, Shastra says a deep sleep gives you a peek into Brahmanandam. That is your own self. You are not being disturbed by any other external factors. You are by yourself. So Anandam is our nature. Then what about the Anandam that we get from other things? When I eat gulab jamun, I get an ananda. When I play with a baby, I get an ananda. When I play with a dog, I get an ananda. When I drive a new car, I get an ananda. How do I get those anandana? சாஸ்திரம் சொல்றது அதெல்லாம் மயங்கிடாதப்பா. All these entities are like small, small mirrors. They only reflect the ananda. Original source of ananda is you. I have sunlight. I show a small mirror to sunlight. What will happen? The light from the sun will get reflected onto the mirror. And when you look at the mirror, you will look at the sun in the mirror. You will look out, you will look that some light is coming out of the mirror. That does not mean that the mirror is the source of light. Mirror, it only reflects the light from a very powerful source. If mirror is broken, you will not get the reflected light, but the original light will always be there. You can easily replace that with some other mirror. In the same way, Atma Swarupam is Ananda. You have all these entities, Gulab Jamun, it reflects a small percentage of Ananda of our Atma Swarupam. Playing with a baby, it reflects a small percentage of Ananda. Playing with a new car reflects a small percentage of Ananda. Because if the mirror is the original source of light, no matter what time the mirror will give you light, mirror should give you light. But during night time, mirror is not going to give you light. When you turn the mirror away from the sun, mirror will not give you light. So mirror is definitely not the original source of light. In the same way, if gulab jamun is the original source of ananda, no matter when you eat gulab jamun, you are going to get ananda. No matter who eats gulab jamun, they are going to get ananda. But that is not the case. Somebody will like gulab jamun, somebody will hate gulab jamun. Right. Even if I like gulab jamun, when I eat 100 gulab jamuns, I cannot eat the next gulab jamun. Gulab jamun will not be the source of ananda for me. Gulab jamun will be the source of dukkham for me. So, Anandam is not the property of Gulab Jamun. Anandam is my own nature. Gulab Jamun only reflects my Ananda to myself. When I'm seeing my face in a mirror, it is like seeing our own face in a mirror. You are seeing a small percentage of your face in the mirror, small percentage of yourself in the mirror. So Bhagavan is Anandam. Ananda Matram. Okay, there is nothing else other than Anandam in Bhagavan. Aham Prapadye. I worship that Bhagavan. What is he telling in the first three lines? Yasmin viruddhagatayo hinisham patanti vidyadayo vividha shaktaya anupurvyat tad brahma vishwa bhavamekam anantam adyam anandamatram avikaram aham prapadye. You will see the meaning of the first three lines in the next class. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ओम शांति शांति शांति